So some new Payday 2 DLC came out, and since I can't really stream the new heist, I thought let's just jump into the weapons. So welcome back to Gauge Armory, and today we're going to be covering the Bernetti auto pistols. Let's hop right into it. So two things I want to talk about real quick before we hop into the gun itself is my overview of the DLC. Like, what do I think of the gun DLC as a whole? If you can't wait for me to talk about the other two guns, they're fun. They got their things here and there, but overall, if you're looking for new weapons to use in your death sentence builds, you know, if you're trying to go one down and stuff, I don't think that's really what these are. It just gives a little bit more variety in the game if you want to play around with some guns. But you know, I think overall the DLC is worth just, you know, trying out the new guns. If you're mainly, if you really like playing pistols, if you really like, you know, using pistols in the game, or like doing the akimbo, or if there's a build that you really want that uses akimbo weapons, or if you're mainly a dodge player, this DLC is for you. Meanwhile, other factors into that, I don't think really, you know, if you're not into any of those things, this DLC isn't for you. Another thing that I want to quickly talk about is in the video, originally when I was testing out the DLC and everything, I was using a mod that basically adds burst mode into the game, and I just thought that, you know, Overkill had just added burst mode for like the weapons. I was like, oh, that's really cool, you know, because my overview of some of the guns are going to change significantly because of this, but in the gameplay I do use burst mode a lot, and I'll get to why in a second. So we're here to talk about the Bernetti auto pistols. They're based off of the Beretta 93R machine pistol, the first ever fully automatic pistol in the Payday series. Was the Strix pistol that came out in Pay the Heist. So this is the first time in a long time that we've gotten a new set of fully automatic pistols, and the Bernetti auto pistols are one of them. So as you can see here, we have the Akimbo Bernetti auto pistols stats. Now the base stats is the magazine is 30, total ammo is 210, rate of fire is 1,101, the damage is 25, accuracy is 40, the stability is 76, and the concealment is 28, and the threat is 10, and the reload time is 4. Now, of course, I have pistol skills, because I would think that most people who run akimbo pistols and all that would have at least some decent pistol skills to go along with it. So, with the bonuses I have with my skills, the magazine is now 40, the total ammo is 315, the rate of fire is 1,651, the damage is 41.3, the accuracy is 56, and the stability is 80. While the concealment is 28, threat is 10, and the reload time is now decreased to 2.7. So, while I was playing with the akimbo version of these pistols, I'm going to kind of separate these out so that way, you know, it's kind of easier to get my opinion on both of them. But the akimbo version of these weapons, when I was using them, I was using the burst mode, and it felt like that, you know, both of the pistols were shooting at once. But now that I know that the burst mode is not actually in there, when I use the single fire, which is, you know, the mode that I think was supposed to be default actually, it doesn't feel that powerful. Like, it feels kind of lackluster to shoot both of them. Like, it feels like I'm not firing as fast as I would think, and that's kind of weird because these are like really fast pistols. I mean, considering 1,651, like, so it was just kind of like, I don't know. But I think what this confirms is fully automatic pistols is a very terrible idea, especially if they have a very fast rate of fire. Is a very terrible idea for akimbos, because since you have such a short mag, you burn through mags quick if you put the akimbos on fully automatic. Now, if you're running by yourself and say you're in a situation where you're fighting like a bulldozer and you need to take their faceplate off really fast, then yeah, I can see the use in that. I was using them, or at least the fully automatic mode for that scenario, but using it for like anything else just seemed kind of like a waste of magazines, unless you're like clearing like a very short crowd. But you burn out on mags like in like 2 seconds. Like, it just is not worth it. It's better to control your ammo and just take the few headshots that you can, especially if you're using these pistols on Overkill and Mayhem. You would be pushing it on Death Wish, but these are definitely, none of these pistols are made for Death Sentence. That's just silly. I mean, I'm sure someone can find a way to make them for Death Sentence, but I'm not going to do that. Anyways, they're an okay akimbo variant of, you know, the pistols and all that, but like, it just, the fully automatic doesn't work for it, and the single fire just feels very lackluster. But that's just my opinion on the akimbo side of things. So now here are the just basic pistol, no akimbo stats. The magazine is 15, total ammo is 195, the rate of fire is 1,101, the damage is again 25, accuracy is 40, stability is 64, concealment is 28, threat is 10, and the reload time is 2.1. Of course, with my pistol skills, it then adds the magazine to have 20. The total ammo is still the same. Rate of fire is now 1,651. The damage is 41.3. Accuracy is 56. Stability is 88. And the concealment is 28, with the threat being 10, and the reload time now being decreased to 1.4. So when I was messing around with the single pistol, it was really feeling like an automatic version of the Bernetti. Now again, yes, the akimbo version, it has the high ammo count, the very low damage, but the single pistol, I understood, you know, what they were trying to go for with this, and I think they actually really accomplish it as a alternative to the Strix pistol. Now, is it obviously going to be a thing where everyone uses the pistols and everything? I don't think so, but it does offer a different play style. So if you're, you know, if you want to try a different, you know, fully automatic gun, you know, the Bernetti automatic pistol is a good choice. It basically acts as a Bernetti if it was fully automatic. The high ammo pool is really nice, and the rate of fire with the damage, you can do some burst shots, and if you have a really good ammo pickup system going on, then you should be fine. And of course, you have ammo bags. Make sure you ask your teammates, you know, to use their ammo bags and stuff. But honestly, I think it's probably the best pistol out of the three in terms of what they were actually trying to achieve with the whole, you know, fully automatic thing. I think it's really the only one that does a very good job at that, and I highly recommend that people at least try this gun out, you know, if you did buy the DLC. But it's a very fun weapon. You can also really hold doors very well in lower difficulties. Again, I tried this on Mayhem to base everything as sort of like a good gauge between Death Wish and Overkill, and you can really hold doors with it. If you aim at the head, it does very well.
Get around it.
Now, of course, like any other gun in the game, we can modify it, we can add some attachments to it. And I was messing around with some of the attachments that came along with the pack and, you know, some of the original ones. And I think I've gotten to the point where the guns are a little bit better. The akimbos are still a little bit off, but the single, you know, just the pistol itself has definitely gotten a lot better. Now for the modifications, for the barrel, I've added the Weller barrel. For the barrel extension, I've added the flash hider. And for the stab boost, I've added accuracy. And for the gadget, the polymer flashlight. For the grip, I've added the cartel grip. And for magazine, just, you know, extended mag. And for just the pistol itself, pretty much everything's the same except for the sight. I couldn't put one on, nor do I want one on there. And I went with not having the stock because it just looks silly to me, and I don't really like it, and it doesn't really add anything to the gun. Alright, now let's take a look at the newly modded pistols and their stats. So, as we can see here with the Akimbo version, now fully modded, the magazine is 52, the total ammo is 315, the rate of fire is 1,651, the damage is 43.4, the accuracy is 68, stability is 100, concealment is 20, threat is 24, and reload time is 2.7 seconds. So now if we look at this graph that I've made, we have modded, skills, and base. Now the modded version does contain skills. I didn't want to have to go in and, you know, take all my skills out just to have a different version. So the modded one does contain the skills. But with the skills and the modifications that I made to the gun, the magazine is now increased to 52. The damage is increased to 43.4. Accuracy is increased to 68. Stability is increased to 100. Concealment has gone down to 20. And the threat has gone up to 24. So you get to definitely see the changes and everything compared to base, skills, and modded. So now that we modded the weapons, how do the guns feel now? Do they feel better? Do they feel worse? I mean, obviously if you modify them, they should feel better, right? Well, I do think that the modded versions definitely help a little bit, but then again, my experience is kind of tainted with the whole burst fire mode, so I'm going to make sure that next time I do the rest of the pistols, I won't have the burst fire. I'll just use single fire and auto fire. But I've used auto fire a lot. I haven't used single fire too much because I thought it was burst fire. But anyways, so the guns do feel a little bit better. Not too much better, but you've upgraded them enough to where they feel just enough. I don't know. I feel like a lot of Dodge players are going to be complaining that the concealment is a little bit too low. I don't know. I don't really worry about that stuff. I just try to have fun. But the guns do feel a little bit better. The only issue that I've had with them is that while I was playing this heist, a few instances where I'm aiming at a sniper from a far distance, it almost seemed like where I was aiming was not lining up to where I thought I was shooting at him. Like I had to aim like a little bit higher for the bullets to directly hit on him. But knowing Payday, I'm pretty sure Payday doesn't have like a drop off, like doesn't have like a bullet drop. But who knows, maybe they added it, or I haven't been paying attention. But for the most part, it felt like most of my shots were kind of missing, so I had to raise the guns a little bit more above their head in order to shoot them. Which, I mean, I could get used to. It's just kind of like, oh, that's a little bit different. But yeah, I definitely say if you plan on using the Bernetti automatic pistols akimbo version, I definitely recommend you modify it out just so you can make it a little bit better at least. But that's just my opinion. So now we just look at the pistol on its own. The magazine is 26 now. The total ammo hasn't really changed. The rate of fire is pretty much what we've been seeing all day. The damage is 43.4. Accuracy is 68. Stability 100. Concealment 20. Threat 24. And the reload time is 1.4, so not too much different from the counterparts of many other modifications in the skills. The only thing that seems to be different is magazine, of course the accuracy and stability, but it still has all the same kind of traits that we got from the Akimbos. So as we can see here, we have another graph. It's for the pistol. It's in the order of last time, as you can see. One of the many differences is the magazine size, of course the damage, the accuracy and stability, the threat. It's all there. It's all there. So now that the gun is modded now, is it good? Is it bad? You know what? It's got the skills. It's modded. Like what is it now? I gotta say it's pretty good. It's really good. It has that stability because you can actually it gives you a lot more control of your spray, and the directions you really want to fire it. So you can really, it's very stable. You can get some really good hits in there with it, and it's just overall a really good gun. It's a really good gun. It's a really good gun when it's modded and has the skills. Now I know it's got it's 20 concealment. I know that's a big deal, but you can mod around it a little bit so it doesn't become like that. I mean, they do have things where you can put a silencer on it. It ups the stability a little bit. You up that pistol damage. You're all good. You're all good. Conclusion, I think the gun, it definitely has its weaknesses, but I think with the right mindset and the right skills, you can turn these guns into some pretty good weapons. Though I don't think they would be too good on higher difficulties, especially Death Sentence. Maybe Death Wish, but I don't think Death Sentence is right for these pistols. So anyways, that's it, everyone. Sorry if I sounded a little loopy at the end there. I'm really tired. I think I need some rest. So if you guys liked the video in this new format, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.